like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments. No negotiations, it's my way, I was born impatient. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
I don't know how to stop. I just go till I drop. Whether it's working or shots, give it all that I got. You can watch me work in my element. Anyone in the way is irrelevant. You wanna cross me, cool, not intelligent. Cause I don't forget shit like an elephant. Go ahead and tempt me, put it on the line and you'll come up empty. If I got time, I'm deadly. Never caught off guard, no, I'm always ready. I got a hand real steady. Look me in the eye and you'll see no hezzy. About to get real messy. I'll put you in a grave 6 feet like Kenny.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Yes, it's the AEW World's End post show. Let's talk about AEW's world ending.
Start.
Did it end? Did their world end, John? Is it over?
I think we made it. I think we're okay. I don't know about you. It's one of the few AEW pay-per-views where I'm like, it didn't feel that long to me, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. It didn't kill us on time. Most of these things this year for AEW have been just marathons. And this one started at 8, ended before midnight, which is rare for AEW. Usually these things are 4+ hours. This one clocked in at about 3.5, 3:45, and it felt short, which tells you something about the length of AEW pay-per-views in 2024. It was still long, John. Long, John.
Long, but AJ's still awake. That's impressive. Hey to AJ. Happy New Year when that happens for you. A couple of days from now.
That's it?
Oh,
Fucking New Year's greetings for AJ? That's all you got for me? God damn, pal.
I think I froze out there for a second.
Oh.
Yeah. But I'm back now, I think. That's good.
Are you having internet problems, John?
It was getting choppy for a little bit. It would go off and on for a little bit. I don't know what happened there. But when we were connecting, we were having some issues. Well, maybe. Possibly.
Yeah.
Let's hope we survive. But yeah, Merry Christmas, AJ. Hope all is well. I know Dave's in day 4 or 5 of Hanukkah now.
4.
Impressive. Marathon. But yeah, we had a pay-per-view today. And I really much enjoyed this. I mean, I don't know if it was the best AEW pay-per-view this year, but I would safe to say one of the better ones, without question. Better than last pay-per-view they had. Better than Full Gear. Easily.
It was okay. Let's run it down and see what we saw tonight. The main event saw Jon Moxley retaining the AEW World Championship, beating Orange Cassidy, Hangman Page, and Jay White. We had some post-match stuff go on with FTR and the returning Adam Copeland, a.k.a. Edge, coming out to confront Jon Moxley and his band of thugs. We saw Will Ospreay beat Kyle Fletcher to advance to the finals of the Continental Classic. We saw Kazuchika Okada beat Ricochet to advance to the finals, where he faced Will Ospreay and defeated Will Ospreay to win the Continental Classic, retain the Continental Championship, and was then greeted by Kenny Omega, who made his return to AEW and presented Okada with the belt. We saw a promo from Swerve, which we can talk about. We saw Mariah May beat Thunder Rosa to retain the AEW World Championship. We saw MJF beat Adam Cole. Konosuke Takeshita over Will Hobbs to retain the AEW International title. Mercedes Moné beating Chris Statlander to retain the TBS title. And that, my friends, was AEW's World's End, the second annual edition of this pay-per-view. AEW World's End tonight in Orlando, Florida, doing just under 7,000 tickets, according to WrestleTix on Twitter. And that is about 2,000 less than the WWE did in the same town at the same time for a house show tonight in Orlando, Florida, a hotbed of professional wrestling. So we saw some action tonight in AEW. We saw some good matches. We saw some not so good matches. Overall, I thought this show was decent. You know, I liked that it was under 4 hours, considering it was an AEW pay-per-view. I kind of figured it would be because it was only 8 matches. I mean, sometimes we preview these AEW cards and it's like 12, 13 matches, and you know you're in for maybe a 5-hour show. And, 8 matches kind of felt a little light for an AEW. I have a hard time picking out anything that stands head and shoulders above the pack. I thought some matches were definitely better than others, but to go and pick a match of the night, to go and say anything was better than anything I'd seen recently, I think that's a stretch. I thought Ospreay and Fletcher had a really good match. I thought Okada and Ricochet was all right. I thought Okada and Ospreay was all right. I thought Mercedes Moné and Statlander was pretty good. Mariah May and Thunder Rosa was pretty good. And then there was the rest. But I didn't think anything was outstanding. And that's why this pay-per-view kind of fell short for me. I thought, it was solid all around. I didn't think anything was bad. I just wasn't blown away by anything. And it just felt like a lot of the same over and over again. Head bump, false finish. Pile driver, 2 count. It's like you hit somebody with everything, and then eventually you hit somebody with another thing, and it's over there. Oh, okay, I guess the match has ended. Cool. The Takeshita Will Hobbs match felt like that. It was like move, finish. Okay, cool. And it's just so much of AEW felt like that. I don't know. I sound like an old man wrestling fan, but when you have an opening match like Ospreay and Fletcher, like I'm torn saying this, John, because I think on the one hand it is the match of the night, but on the other hand, I thought they did way too much for an opening match. You're doing a bunch of false finishes. You're bleeding. I mean, I understand the consequences of this match and how much the match meant, but you're opening a pay-per-view with something that's going to be very hard to top. Other people bled on this show, but it just wasn't the same as Ospreay and Fletcher. Ospreay bled so much. It was shocking. And I think that match being so good took away from the rest of the pay-per-view. It was hard to top. And I think watching this match and seeing it, I go, could you imagine an opening match on a WWE PLE like that, like Ospreay Fletcher, where there's blood, where there's tons of false finishes on crazy bumps? Like, they wouldn't do that. And some people say, well, they wouldn't do that because they don't want to push it and they're not good. And it's like, okay, but maybe also there's a reason why they wouldn't do that. Because they're trying to deliver like a complete program and they're trying to set the tone in a certain way with the opening match. Like, have a good match, by all means, to open the show, a hot match. But I don't think you need that many near falls. And I don't think you need the blood in an opener. But I understand that you wanted to have Ospreay banged up for the second match with Okada, so he's not as strong. He's not 100%. He's bleeding. He's got a bandage. He's all messed up because you saw him go through a war with Fletcher. Like, I understand why they did it. I just think that it maybe hurt the rest of the show afterwards. Like, I don't think Okada and Ospreay was as good as Ospreay and Fletcher.
Right, I completely agree with you. I thought the first match was the best match. I said on the preview show, MJF, Adam Cole, that should have been the first match. And the way it went down, that's exactly what should have happened. I mean, I thought they had a good basic match, and that would have been a good way to start the show. Yet they didn't do that. Though, like you say, too, I understand, like, you're doing a tournament, they're going to wrestle later on. You want to get them out early. So then later on, they give them a bit more rest. So they're not so tired having so many back-to-back matches. Like, I get it, but that's the thing. Like, Ospreay and Fletcher kind of killed it, and like it was really hard to top. But that's what happens when you book tournaments like that. I don't blame Ospreay and Fletcher for going out there because, like, they have the opportunity. They'll take advantage of it.
Yeah, and it's fine. It's just when every match is big bump, 1, 2. Oh my God, he kicked out. When you see that 3-4 matches in a row, you go 1, 2. Oh, he didn't kick out. Okay, whatever. Like you just kind of get, you're just desensitized to it all. And that's how I felt watching this pay-per-view. By the end of it, I was kind of like, yeah, and they all do this. Like when Moxley got put through the table, the announce table, with the power bomb. This was before I saw the damage that it caused on the back of his head, which, like, what the hell?
That's rough.
That's crazy. Really unsafe work environment for AEW. Like, come on, guys. What are we doing with our tables? What happened?
I don't think he was going back in that. Well, it's the monitors, right?
Yeah.
I imagine he hit a monitor. And I don't think he went back in that match before the doctor checked him because he didn't see him come back in that match right away.
But just seeing him take the power bomb and then he's down for like, that's supposed to be like killing him off of the match, right? Because they're all teaming up on Moxley and then they hit him with the and it's like, okay, he's down for a power bomb. I just saw Mercedes Moné, or was it?
It's that line.
Yeah, but who took the package pile driver? Was it Mercedes taking it?
Mercedes took the package.
Mercedes took a package pile driver, kicks out at 2.
Yep.
I mean, when Mercedes and Statlander are pile driving each other on the apron and off the thing and a package pile driver and everybody's dropping each other on their head and then they're just kicking out. When Moxley takes one power bomb through the announce table, you go, get up, dude. Come on. That's killing Moxley? That's ridiculous. It's nothing. And that's not good.
Well, I usually agree with you until I saw that cut in the back of his head. And then I was like, well.
Yeah, okay. But you know what I mean? But for a regular bump, you kind of go, bump through any announce table, took him out like that. Everybody's taking everything. Everybody's going crazy, taking all these crazy bumps, and they seem to be unaffected. Barely selling. I don't know. You know, I thought we had some good wrestling. That MJF Adam Cole match I thought was the low point of the show. I had trouble staying awake for that one. It's like I fell asleep during that match and then woke back up for the rest of the pay-per-view. It was so hard to stay interested in. Boring.
Well, that's the problem because it was basic. Like it was a fine match, but I mean, after you saw everything beforehand, like it was hard to keep up with that because it felt kind of slow compared to everything else. But that was just match placement. That should have been earlier in the show. Should have started the show.
That match was absolutely terrible, absolutely ridiculously booked. It was awful. MJF wound up beating Adam Cole. So MJF gets Taven and Bennett booted from ringside because he faked getting attacked by them, right? So they're getting booted from ringside, and the referee is distracted. He gets the diamond ring, but then doesn't use it on Adam Cole and hits his pile driver instead and then just beats him clean, which is weird. So he doesn't cheat to win, right?
Well, he hit him with a low blow, though.
Yeah, but he didn't hit him with the ring. I mean, whatever. He hit him with the thing, hit him with the pile driver, and then beats him. And then the heel, MJF, gets beat down by 5 dudes that all reunite over their hatred of MJF, and they beat him up. Adam Cole and Bennett and Taven and Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. They all come out as one big group, and they beat up MJF. Nice baby faces, a 5-on-1 attack. What's that about?
Yeah, that was weird because the crowd also kind of booed that as well. If you saw that, so but
screw those guys.
That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to put them back as a group the Undisputed Era Kingdom, whatever that they've done. Like, they want to do that. MJF still getting the win, so that was his over, winning. And then Adam Cole, he got his old group back again. So, I mean, I'm okay with it because everyone can move forward and go and do different things now. So, as long as we never speak of this ever again, I'm more than okay with this.
Ugh, this match was just not good. Not good. So overall, score on 10 for this pay-per-view, Johnny. I'm giving it a 6.5. I thought it was passable. I thought we had some good matches, but nothing exceptional. Nothing really surprising. The two big surprises were Kenny Omega and Edge coming back, which didn't feel like surprises at all. Some matches that just didn't need to be on the show. And a main event that really sucked. Like, that main event was weak as hell. I mean, we're going to talk about it a little bit more, John, but that four-way was trash. Trash main event. So 6.5 for me, John. 6.5 for me. What is it for you? What is it for everybody in the chat?
I'll actually go with a 7.5. I think I enjoyed the pay-per-view more than you did. Like, I felt watching Ospreay Fletcher, like, I felt like I got my money's worth just watching that match alone. Like, I highly enjoyed Ospreay and Okada. Like, maybe you've seen them have a better match before, but I still thought it was very good from what I saw. And, you know, was Statlander Mercedes better than the last one? It's tough to say, but this was still very good, I thought. So, and again, there's more good than bad on this. Yes, the main event, I won't disagree with you. Wasn't a huge fan of it, but I didn't really expect much from that going into it. So I thought in the end, overall, I thought the show was enjoyable to watch.
7.5 for Johnny. All right. Give me a score on 10 in the chat if you've got it. 6.5 for me. I didn't like it as much as Johnny did. I thought it needed something. Needed some pep. Needed some pizzazz. Needed some sports entertainment.
I'd give the buy-in like a 2 on 10. I rarely watch like the 0 hour thing that they do, the pre-show stuff they did.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually watched it this time. Wow, I don't think I'll ever watch that pre-show ever again. It's so bad. The whole panel stuff they do. There was a couple of promos that weren't that bad because it actually hyped up what's going to happen this week on AEW. So I didn't mind that. That was the best part to watch. But even the matches, like nothing was really exciting to watch. Tony Storm was on there and it wasn't that exciting. So I was extremely disappointed with their pre-show. One of the worst things I've seen.
There you go. Match of the night. We are in agreement, John. We're not in agreement of, how high we grade this show. I'm grading it a little lower, but we do agree that Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, the opener, was the best match that we saw tonight. And I even had a bunch of problems with this match. Like, they did everything. They hit each other with, Fletcher hit Ospreay with everything. And, I don't know. It was a little much. It's just like if this was the main event, I'd be like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. But for the opening match, it was like, God damn, man. What are we doing? Why is Ospreay bleeding so much? This is the first match. It just felt like too much. And I didn't love the finish. The Styles Clash, that's not one of Ospreay's finishers. I thought that made Kyle Fletcher look a little bit weak by losing to a move that isn't Ospreay's finishing move. So I didn't love the finish. And I thought that it was just too much for what it was, which was an opening match on pay-per-view. But, still, match of the night.
The main part that I liked about this match, first match, was the intensity. I thought from start to finish, high intensity, some great stiff action, back and forth. They didn't hold back whatsoever. And, yeah, there was a lot of blood. I didn't mind a lot of blood because I thought it actually added to the intensity of the match. And Yeah, there was a lot. I won't disagree with you on that. There was a lot, but I actually felt they didn't do as much as they did the first match. Like, remember Ospreay took like a tombstone off the apron onto the stairs. This time it didn't happen. He take a brainbuster off the top rope this time. He took a brainbuster, but not off the top. So he actually took less this time. So, and it made sense because he won this time around. So, I mean, yeah, they did a lot, but I mean that's Ospreay matches, and I feel like it's slowly coming there where he's selling a lot more now. Like it's making more sense what's going on. However, he's still very much superhuman, but I mean he's pretty much their guy in AEW. So that's just going to happen when you're the guy. You kind of become a superhuman a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It is what it is. It's not like he shouldn't take that stuff. It's just in an opening match, it was a little overkill. Because, again, hard to follow. Okada and Ricochet right after had a fine match, but it just felt like it under-delivered because of what we had just seen.
Yeah, I won't disagree with you. I enjoyed the crowd's energy for that match. They seemed quite into it, just into the wrestlers more and so like what they actually saw. So I thought the energy was pretty high. I thought the crowd was very good for pretty much most of the night.
Yep, crowd was good. Ricochet at one point hit Okada with like a pile driver that didn't work. Did you see that?
I'm vaguely remembering this at this point right now.
Yeah.
I know there was like...
It was scary.
The elbow drop I thought was pretty good that Okada hit.
Yeah.
I thought he had a pretty good elbow drop. And always, like, his drop kicks, fantastic. Fantastic drop kicks that Okada hits.
Yeah.
But that was fine overall, the match. But like you said, you're right. I mean, you start off that first match, it's hard to compare with that. And I doubt Okada and Ricochet have wrestled that much before in the past. So that makes it even harder for them, I think.
Yep. And Ricochet told Swerve that he was going to win the Continental Classic, and Swerve told him that he would make him regret it and embarrass him if he didn't win, and that's what Swerve did. He came out and he said, haha, I'm here to embarrass you, and you've been talking a lot of mess, and we all know the best way to clean up mess. And out comes Prince Nana with a cart full of toilet paper rolls, because apparently Swerve thinks the best way to clean up a mess is toilet paper rolls. I think it's soap and water. Wouldn't it be soap and water to clean up something? I don't know. If you say the number one thing, we surveyed 100 people. We asked them, what's the number one thing you use to clean up a mess? And they said, soap and water. Survey says, yeah. I would say, yeah. Not toilet paper. Maybe toilet paper is on the list, but Swerve goes, the best way to clean up a mess is toilet paper. I was like, really? And then they gave it to the crowd in the front row and had them throw the toilet paper at Ricochet, which, you know, was just some toilet paper kind of flying around him, looked kind of nice. And Ricochet was very mad about this for some reason. And Swerve then said, Happy New Year, Trevor. He called him by his shoot name, his real name. I didn't like that. I thought that was pretty dumb. We needed some sports entertainment, but man, Swerve kind of missed the mark on that one. It was a silly little promo using toilet paper. And Ricochet was unreasonably upset for what had just happened to him. You know, like Swerve comes out, says things, makes fun of him, and then has people throw toilet paper at him, and it's like Ricochet was like enraged by the toilet paper throwing. Like he didn't seem that mad by Swerve talking trash to him or having lost the tournament, but as soon as that toilet paper started flying in the ring, he was like, "Grr," and I was like, what? What's that reaction, dude? It's weird. So I thought that little segment afterwards was pretty dumb.
Well, for me, the only thing that was kind of off about that was the whole fact that you let Nana go around the ring, give everyone toilet paper, and then wait on the count of 3 for them to throw it at him. Never trying to stop. No, never like, oh, maybe I'll get out of the ring before he counts this down or anything. Never trying to stop swerve, just let it happen. That to me was like, okay, like if you hate it that much, why didn't you try to stop it? That was the only thing to me that was kind of off about that whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Anyhow, then we had Mariah May beating Thunder Rosa. Thunder took a big driver move into some thumbtacks at one point. She ran up a table. Like the table was kind of sideways, and she ran up the table and jumped off for a drop kick. That was cool. That was an innovative little move there.
She's done it in the past. You haven't seen her matches on Collision, but she's done that before.
The finish came when Mariah had pocket sand and threw it at Thunder Rosa right in the face, blinded her, and then went on the apron and delivered a pile driver through a table for the pin. This was an excellent finish. It made sense. It kind of built up to it. They didn't do any bump bigger than this in the match. And this is what I think is a fundamental a theme of this show tonight, is that, they're doing bumps bigger than the finish. And you go, well, why did that end you when the other things you're surviving? And I know the argument is, well, it's an accumulation of things, and this is the, straw that broke the back and all of this, but I don't know. I feel like it's a nicer story when the thing that kills you is the most devastating thing that happens to you. You know what I mean?
Oh, I completely agree with you. They ended up on the high spot. I think that's what the finish should be. That's your highest reaction. Go off that. That's the biggest move that you hit. That should be the finish. It made sense to me. It wasn't a perfect match. I mean, this was more of a brawl, right? And some things not exactly the best looking, but that's also what kind of made this match great, was the fact that it was kind of rough a bit at times. Like when I think, was it Thunder had the garbage can, and then Mariah drop kicked it on her, and then she was rolling down the ramp, and then she threw it at her on the ramp, nailed her in the elbow. Again, little things like that. That's probably not what was supposed to happen exactly, but I liked the way that kind of turned out because it told a bit of a story with that. And then Thunder's hurt. It looked like legit. I liked the realism that was kind of added there a bit.
Is it me, or did Thunder sandbag Mariah on the pile driver off the apron too? She did not jump with her. Mariah seemed to have to lift her dead weight to move her off the apron for the finish.
Well, it's the Storm Zero that you hit, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's what it's supposed to kind of be. It's supposed to be kind of a short little pile driver kind of thing. So it's kind of pretty much a deadlift. So, and given that it's off the apron like that, that was probably the safest way to do it, I think, without destroying Thunder. That was one question I had there too, was are her shoulders actually down? Because she's on the table. That, I don't know. I questioned that one a little bit, but we didn't exactly see her shoulders. The referee decided that, so.
Yeah, it was a big crash. It just looked to me that Mariah had a bit of trouble lifting her up and getting her over. I thought Thunder might have helped her, could have helped her a little bit and didn't, but I think you're right about that Storm Zero pile driver. It kind of does look like that. I'm just not used to seeing it off the apron through a table, right? Looked a little different, kind of sideways. So that match happened, John. Konosuke Takeshita beat Will Hobbs with the Raging Fire, like a driver type move, to retain the International Championship. At one point, Takeshita and Hobbs were fighting on the top rope, and they both fell off. And then they decided to just kind of climb back up to the top rope for no reason in particular, after just falling on the apron in shame. And the crowd started chanting, "Please be careful," which was just sad. This match should have been on Dynamite or Collision, really, so I wouldn't have to watch it.
Well, I don't know about you, but I've noticed this with Konosuke's matches. he has good moments, good like sequences, but he kind of just hits everything, and the finishes always just come out of absolute nowhere.
Yep.
And we talk about like ending on the high spots. He doesn't do that usually at all. It's just the match just ends here and that's it. And it's a regular occurrence in almost all his matches. Like I feel someone needs to talk to him. Like maybe that's how you usually do it, but here is a bit more storytelling towards the finish, a little bit. Would help.
Yep.
Like there was a knee that was being worked on, and that was nice. I mean, it was kind of playing a factor a little bit. To me, like you had out there on that superplex not working out because Hobbs' knee and he was selling it. Maybe work into that a little bit. There was moments they could have done stuff and they just didn't capitalize on it.
They are trying to make this Takeshita thing work. They've been trying to make it work for so long, and it's not working. He's not over at all. His matches aren't doing it. Like, they were banking on his matches getting him over. But they're not. And he's a heel. So to be a heel and to get over on your work is really hard. Especially when you don't talk and your manager doesn't get a lot of TV time. And, I don't know. They keep trying with this guy and it just never works. Put him on pay-per-view and you go, why? I don't want to see him. He's okay in the ring. I mean, he's pretty good. He's athletic, but like he's the prototypical guy in AEW who can't quite put a match together. Where the biggest moves are happening kind of middle of the match, and then you finish off with just a thing that happens, and you go, oh, that's the Raging Fire. And you're like, Excalibur, you're the only guy on planet Earth who knows that. No one knows. Is that his finisher? Is that one of his... Like, what is that? So that match was not good. It was not a good wrestling match. It was not my favorite thing on this show. It was probably my least favorite thing on this show.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And it's a perfect example of what was wrong with this pay-per-view. They need better producers who kind of have a handle over not just one match individually, but the whole show as a concept, the whole production as a one show, not individual matches. Because individually, the matches were all fine, but as one cohesive unit, it was a mess.
Wow, we talk about things being set up. Think about the last 4 matches. I think the heels won all the last 4 matches, not mistaken. How many faces won overall tonight?
Let's see. Ospreay won a match, but then he lost to Okada.
Well, it evens out.
Swerve beat Okada beat Ricochet, but they're both heels. Mariah May is a heel. She won against Thunder. MJF is the heel, I guess, and he won. Takeshita heel, he won. Mercedes heel, she won. Okada heel, he won. And then Moxley heel. All the heels won.
Except the one Ospreay match. It's the only time a face won.
Where he eventually lost. Babyface won. The only babyface that won eventually did lose to a heel.
Wow. Can you name another pay-per-view that's done that?
Wrestling tends to not do that for several good reasons.
You have a very loyal fan base if you can pull that off.
They should have put Statlander over tonight.
I mean, a title change. I mean, we kind of both predicted that, right? But we both didn't get those title changes.
Yes.
Both denied.
I had Okada winning the Continental thing, which he did. I thought he'd be beating Fletcher. You thought Ospreay would be in it against Okada, but Ospreay winning. He did not. So I had that correct in a way, Okada winning, but then I also thought Statlander might take it from Mercedes because I didn't really get why they were doing this match again so soon. But no, Mercedes just wins, which was weird. But I thought that, putting her, having Statlander beat her tonight would have been good for Statlander, would have made the show a little bit more interesting, would have put a babyface over in a major way, winning a title, beating Mercedes. But they didn't do that.
Well, to be fair, though, I felt when she came back in after the tombstone on the 10 count, that shouldn't have counted because not her whole body got back in the ring on that. I don't know if you caught that or not. Like, her legs were still out.
Okay.
So it's like, well, that shouldn't have counted. Like, they said, oh, she broke the 10 count. Like, she did technically get all the way back in. So I was actually fine with her losing. And also, that should have been the finish to me.
Yeah.
At Tombstone, I'm like, honest, like, I think most people wouldn't like it when it's a count out victory, but like, to me, that would have been more than adequate to end the match right there, because to me that's as high as it got, which is more than fine, because they said that's the longest AEW women's match in history, and like that's
really?
It was high quality. Yeah, high quality for that too. So it may have been, I don't know if it was the longest match of the night, but I mean they made history tonight, and they definitely had a moment there to make Statlander. I think if Statlander gets another shot, she's going to win, but I guess they felt it isn't time for Mercedes, who's going to go for another championship next week at Wrestle Dynasty. She's defending and potentially could win a title, so I guess they want to put a bunch of titles on her now.
I see. Yeah, it was the longest match of the show, 24 minutes, 35 seconds. It was very good. It was a solid match, but yeah, I thought the count-out could have been the finish there with the pile driver on the apron, which was just devastating. That match was very good. They worked so well together. It was a high point of the show for sure. And it didn't feel like the longest match on the card. The main event felt like the longest match on the card. That thing dragged a motherfucker.
I think about it too. It's like, that match, I mean, the Fletcher and Osprey very good, but this match was very good too, Statlander and Mercedes, because that match surprised the hell out. The things they did in that match, I was not expecting.
Yeah.
Like, there's moments like when Statlander like had Mercedes up for a slam, walked up on the steps. I thought, oh, I should just toss her in. Nope. Slam her right down on the ring apron. I'm like, wow. I wasn't expecting that. And then moments like that tombstone, it's like not expecting that. So, I mean, I gave it to Osprey and Fletcher, but I mean, if it's not a tie, it's very close with Mercedes and Statlander, because damn, that was good.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that was, that could easily be match of the night too. It was very, very good. Mercedes and Statlander, they've got something there. They've got really good chemistry. I don't know if I've seen chemistry like that for Mercedes Moné since Bailey.
It's funny. Like, when I was watching, I'm like, this kind of feels like Charlotte and Sasha almost.
Charlotte, eh?
Just think about it. Like, she's Charlotte very tall, Statlander pretty tall.
Statlander's
very
not as tall
athletic.
as Charlotte. Statlander's kind of more of a Bailey build.
But bigger though. She's bigger than Bailey though.
Is she?
I mean, bigger in the sense, more muscular.
Maybe a bit. I don't know. Match was very good. Okada Osprey, I thought was good, solid.
I mean, I thought it started a little slow, but
Yeah.
it definitely picked up at the end without question.
Yeah, it picked up. Good finish. Just, I don't know. It's missing something. Maybe at that point we just seen everything. After Mercedes and Statlander, too, it was kind of like, wow. Hard to beat that.
Yeah. Well, another thing, too, I mean, you've probably seen that match before in the past, too. And,
yeah.
this
and it's
is
got so
them
much
coming out.
hype, too. There's such high expectations when you see that on a card.
Right. And they've already wrestled already, so it's hard for them to give their best when they've already done a lot already. So it's tough. But I thought very good. I mean, definitely worth watching if you missed it.
Yeah, no, it was a very good match. Okada Ospreay. Okada retaining the Continental Championship, and Christopher Daniels came out afterwards to award him the belt, but he said he couldn't give it to him because he's not an EVP anymore, because this man is an EVP and he's back, and it's Kenny Omega making his return, and he goes to the ring and gives Okada the belt, and that was it. But I'm guessing Kenny will be going after Okada after his match there in New Japan. He's going to come back to AEW in the new year and start something with Okada, which is what I said on the preview show, John, just so we're clear. I said Okada was going to win the Continental Classic because he's gearing up for something with Kenny on Kenny's return. That's exactly what I said.
No, you got one right. I'll give it to you on that one.
Once in a while.
You know, and it's the one thing that burned me, too. I got everything right except one. And it's like, damn. Like, you know how hard it is to correctly predict an entire AEW pay-per-view? Very difficult. And I was one off. So I definitely felt the burn on that one. So that was tough. But I think what helped, too, what added that to that match was the fact that you had JR2 on commentary. You definitely added a different kind of atmosphere to that. Kind of like, you know, when you have JR out there, it's like, you know, two turnips in heat a little bit. Like, things change.
So you were one off on your predictions. So you were 7-1 on your match predictions, John?
Yeah.
And I was 2 off. I was 6-2, right?
That's right.
Not bad. We did well.
Yeah, I know. It's just when you get that one wrong, it's like, yeah, so close.
I needed it though, John. Otherwise, I would have been 5-3. You got to give me one.
Well, I mean, we were both thinking the same thing, just different ways, and we were both wrong in a sense where we thought you got to give one babyface a title win, no? And I guess nope. F you babyfaces, pretty much.
Yeah,
that's what happened tonight.
Yeah, the babyfaces came out to beat up Jon Moxley, I think. I think that was the whole thing. They had the Fatal 4-Way as the main event. Moxley, Hangman, Jay White, Orange Cassidy. White and Hangman were arguing at first, but then they all went after Moxley, all three of them with Orange. And then they were beating up on Moxley, and then Claudio and Wheeler and all the... Well, not Pac, right? Pac is like barely in the group.
He wasn't there. But it's weird. Sometimes you get Pac, sometimes you don't get Claudio. It's weird how they interchange them sometimes. But yeah, he wasn't there.
Pac is like never around. That's been his whole thing in AEW, his whole run, is that sometimes he's around and then sometimes he's not. And it's never clear why. It's like he goes back to England. He's not full-time in the States. So he's just in England, not at the pay-per-view. Does he care? Does it matter? Like, I don't understand. He's in this group. It's supposed to be the top main event group in AEW. They're on pay-per-view. He's not there? They don't fly him in for this? It's not important? Last pay-per-view of the year. Main event. World Championship group. Pac is supposed to be a part of it. He's not there? Why is he not there?
You know, there was a couple of people missing from this show, if you noticed. Like, there was no Taz. Taz came back on Dynamite. No Taz tonight. I feel like there's a bunch of people actually missing.
Yeah, the inconsistency in Moxley's group, though. I mean, come on. It's not good. Anyways, Pac wasn't there, but Wheeler was. Wheeler and Claudio, they grab Mox, and they look like they're going to take him away. Like,
they kind of did.
Away from the match. And then the stupid baby faces are like, no, no, no. And then they attack Wheeler and Claudio and Mox when they should have just been attacking each other and carrying on without Mox, being like, you want to take the champion away? That's fine. we'll just wrestle each other, and then one of us will be champion. But no, they decided to go after Mox because they're stupid. Even stupid Shivani, was like, are there countouts in a 4-way? And they're like, I don't think so. It's like, what? How would there be a countout in a 4-way? Who would win if somebody...
But I like we're not sure about that. They don't even know the rules.
How do they not know? I've watched enough wrestling to know you can't do a count out in a 4-way. Doesn't make sense.
I mean, we did see a street fight that had falls count anywhere. That usually doesn't happen, so.
That's true. So, anyways, eventually Claudio and Wheeler kind of disappear, and then they powerbomb Moxley through the announce table, and it looks just kind of regular, but then Moxley comes up, and the back of his head is bleeding like he's been shot. It's crazy. Yeah. He got cut on something. It was a really bad cut. He reemerged in the match, bloody, and eventually Jay White hits the Blade Runner on Moxley, but Wheeler just grabs the referee and kind of attacks him and throws him out of the ring, which I guess you're allowed to do because fatal 4-way, right? Stops the count from happening there on Mox, and then Marina gets in the ring, and I guess Jay White didn't know that it was Marina behind him because when she kind of grabs him, he just turns around and immediately hits her with his finish, the Blade Runner.
They said it was
crowd,
a reaction.
Huh?
They said it was a reaction. Like, it wasn't intentional. It was just a reaction kind of thing to do.
He didn't mean to do it. Somebody grabbed him, so he just hit his finish because he's in fight mode. So he hit his finisher on a woman. The crowd popped huge for it. And JR was like, they're cheering. I can't believe it. Like, JR was like kind of shocked on commentary, which was funny. I can't believe they're cheering this. It's like, yeah, well, she's a heel and, who cares? I think JR was kind of like, see, we can do this. It's fine. The fans love it. I know in the Attitude Era, we used to do this all the time. Stone Cold gave a stunner to Stacy Keibler, by God. But, nowadays you can't do that. But maybe you can with the right woman.
I don't know if you caught that JR was kind of critical of the referee after the Ospreay-Okada match.
No.
Because after Ospreay lost, like, obviously he's hurting because, like, Ospreay, for whatever reason, just started bleeding a lot again out of nowhere. I don't know if you caught that at the end.
No. He was bleeding again?
Yeah. Like they were both kind of down for a little bit, and then, like, Ospreay started that one last, like, rush, and then off that, he just starts bleeding from one side of his face just a lot. And he's down after he gets pinned, right? And, like, the referee just, like, raises Okada's hand, points to him, whatever, and then left the ring. And JR's like, the referee should stay in the ring and attend to Ospreay because he's vulnerable right now. And it made sense, too. He's right about this. Like, Okada could take a cheap shot on him. Like, the referee should at least, like, protect Ospreay, or at least try to. JR's right about that one.
Exposing the ref, JR. Good job.
Well, I mean,
no, sure. I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying, yeah, it's funny. Go for it. Why not? He can do it. JR can do whatever the hell he wants. The guy's a living legend. He's correct. I mean,
he's right.
Maybe don't say it on the broadcast. Maybe wait until you can see somebody backstage and say it, I don't know if on the show is the way to do it, kind of bury the ref on the TV show, but, because most people wouldn't even notice. But, yeah, he's not wrong with what he's saying. The forum might not be the best forum, but fuck it. Who gives a shit?
Well, that's it. He's JR. He can say what he wants.
That's right. That's right. The voice of wrestling. He can say whatever the hell he wants, man. I think it's great. It's great to hear him on commentary saying anything. I don't care. So Wheeler Yuta then hit the Busaiko knee on Jay White, and then Moxley hit his DDT and pinned him. Pretty weak finish. Pretty weak match. I did not like it. Moxley retains the AEW World Title.
I mean, it's kind of what I expected, almost exactly the way it went down. So I can't say I'm too surprised or feel disappointed because it's pretty much what I expected. And now we can move on, thankfully. Like I like that we got that little interaction where like Christian reacted to Edge's comeback. I thought that was probably the best part of the whole main event.
Yeah, Christian watching the match from a skybox, and after the match, they were gonna go after Jay White, the Moxley goons, but FTR came out, and then Edge came out, and FTR got in the ring and took out Claudio and Wheeler, and then Edge faced off alone with Jon Moxley, and Christian couldn't believe that Edge was back, and then Moxley threw a clothesline, but Edge missed. Edge ducked it and hit a spear. And then he did the crossface thing with the piece of chair rod that he sticks in Moxley's mouth. And then Claudio starts pulling Moxley out of the ring, and they really just let him pull Moxley out of the ring. Like, FTR could have stopped him easily,
Yeah.
but they're just like, yeah, take him. And then Edge's music starts playing, but he gets a mic, and then he starts talking, but you can't hear him. And then he gets a different mic, and then that works, and they cut his music. And then he tells Mox that Mox was growing pubes when Edge was wrestling. So he's old compared to Mox. Pubes, John, pubes.
He called him a kid. That's
yeah,
why.
hey, kid, that's right. I called you a kid because I was wrestling in these rings while you were growing pubes. I was like, nice image there, Edge. Thanks. And then he said, I'm coming for it all. Me and FTR, we're coming for everything. We want all the gold, sucker. Jon Moxley, we're coming for you. What a promo from Edge. He said the N-word and everything. It was nuts.
Not quite the N-word, but I think I got the point across. I was a little surprised, though. I don't know if you caught that afterwards. Like, they just kept it on the ring, them just celebrating, walking around, doing nothing for a good 2-3 minutes. I guess they had a extra run time and they just let them stand there and do absolutely nothing for a little bit. But definitely a better ending than I think the last pay-per-view, where it was a lot of chaos and everything. And you probably didn't catch what happened to Darby Allin, but they murdered Darby on Rampage, so they didn't have to do it on the pay-per-view.
They threw him down some stairs, I saw.
Yes.
I saw a clip of that, yeah.
I think they broke his neck, too, because they broke his neck, I think, before they threw him down the stairs.
Right. Well, there you have it, Johnny North. Moxley's still champion, but I guess Edge coming after him. Any chance Edge becomes champion? And then Christian cashes in his Money in the Bank and takes it from him? That'd be fun.
Well, here's a couple of questions for you, because I don't know if you caught that when they had Omega and Okada in the ring, you saw the banner for All In, hanging up top. It's kind of focused on that. It's like, are we really waiting for that to happen? And then when it was Edge at the end, they ended with the banner to Revolution. So, and that's the March pay-per-view, not the February pay-per-view. So is that the goal for that? Edge and Moxley in March? Revolution? I think it's in LA, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Maybe.
But
they
that's
have a pay-per-view in Australia.
Yes. But that's probably going to be the Tony Storm show.
In February, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Revolution, Moxley, and Edge. It's a while to wait, though. It's 3 months. January, February, it's early March, right? It's March 9th. Yeah, February.
The first Sunday, I think, in March. Yeah.
Huh?
It's the first Sunday in March, or something. So, yeah, it's kind of quick.
February's a short month. I mean, you could stretch it out. Don't have the match till then. It's 6 weeks or something. 6-7 weeks.
They're already having a 6-man on Wednesday, so they're already wrestling each other, kind of.
They should have waited for that 6-man. Give it a week or two to stretch it out, no?
Well, if anything, you got to build up Edge to be the number one contender. He's got to win a couple of other matches, right? So I think it's fine.
Yeah. All right. Looks like we're headed in that direction for AEW, and that is that. Happy New Year to everybody. This is our last show for the Ringside Report Network for 2024.
Wow.
How about that?
What a year. What a year. Insanity. What a year it's been. A lot of crazy shenanigans. I'll never forget the Paisanos. That was definitely the moment of the year. You remember Paisanos? That was when Ric Flair went kind of crazy. That was fantastic.
I have no idea what you're
remember
talking about. Oh, when Ric Flair was drunk in the pizza place or whatever?
Yeah.
Was it a pizza place? Paisanos. I didn't. You saying Paisanos. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I just remember that because I watched that whole thing several times over. Fantastic. A lot of great moments in 2024. Okay. Come on.
I don't need to see Ric Flair drunkenly rant to some guy in a bar.
I mean, enjoy it while you have it. I mean, we lost a lot of people, sadly, in 2024.
Is this something we need to savor and enjoy while we have? Watch an old drunk man yell at a man, be belligerent. This is great. Enjoy this belligerent old drunk wrestler while we still have him. One day he will die, and we won't be able to watch him get kicked out of a bar for being drunk and belligerent. What? It's not wrestling, John. You're acting like this is what he does. I mean, it is kind of what he does, but...
I was going to just say that exactly.
I know. Yes, it's been quite a year. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for your support throughout the year for the Ringside Report Network, Angelo Contagonis, Franco316, and all the members over at join.ringsidereport and membership.ringsidereport.net. Join.ringsidereport.net and membership.ringsidereport.net. Thank you for supporting the Ringside Report Network throughout the year. And I hope you continue to join us and enjoy the programming that we have for you coming up in 2025. We have more. There's more wrestling. There's more MMA. There's more things to do. There's more things to be discussed. And who knows what you might see. Who knows what we might do in 2025. Something crazy?
Well,
something weird? Will I go on an international retreat? Some sort of excursion? Who knows? Will I be in Japan telling you about Japan, speaking Japanese permanently? Maybe. Probably not.
Oh, I have a feeling this might be the last AEW post-show pay-per-view for a while, I think.
Ever.
I don't think we're doing... Well, it might be for... Yeah, it might, who knows? I mean, because we're not doing one next week, right, for the Wrestle Dynasty. And
well, it's in Japan.
Australia,
it's on like at 6 a.m. or something, isn't it?
Well, see, there's that. And then Australia as well. That's kind of the same kind of boat as well for that one.
They're running that at like 3 a.m?
Or like 4 or 5 in the morning or something.
That's
like that.
not a real pay-per-view then.
And then it's going to be, pay-per-views will be on Sunday. Revolution's on a Sunday, so that doesn't work for us. So, again, enjoy this, because this is probably the last AEW pay-per-view post-show for quite a while, possibly.
That's right, brother. Are they going to Sundays permanently?
It's just the usual thing they do, right? Like, they have a Sunday in March, a Sunday, I think, for Double or Nothing. Maybe even June, too.
Okay. Well, we'll see what the schedule is, John. Let's not jump ahead of ourselves. Come on. Talking about March? March?
It'll come up sooner than you think.
I know, but I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing tomorrow. Could we not deal with March yet? Like, I'm not ready. I see AJ in the chat. AJ's like, AJ's supposed to come do jiu-jitsu with Fred and me on Monday morning.
Uh-oh.
You think he's going to show up?
Sad story.
You think he's going to show up?
Has he canceled yet? He hasn't said.
No, he hasn't canceled yet, but like, I'm skeptical. Like, I hope he's going to show up, but I don't know, man. We've been trying to pin him down to do some jiu-jitsu for so long. And it never happened. So I'm just wondering if it's actually going to go down this time. I hope it does, AJ. I'm calling you out publicly so you feel guilty and you have to go.
It'd be a Chris McCum miracle, I think.
I'll tell everybody how AJ beat me up at jiu-jitsu, all right? We'll say that. Even if he doesn't. I think he probably will. But even if he doesn't. Maybe he won't.
Well,
Who knows? Who knows?
That'll be the moment.
Crazy
That'll be your
things happen.
moment of the year, I think, without question, if you ever get that to happen. Because you've wanted this to happen for years, so that'll definitely easily be your moment of the year. I think my moment of the year was to win a championship in Toronto. I think that was pretty fantastic. Mean Demolition. You know, I looked it up. Apparently, like, when I won that title, like, it's the first time Montreal won a title in Montreal, like, in Toronto, since, like, Kevin Steen did that when he won the Ring of Honor title, like, in 2012 or something like that. So, it's cool.
There you go.
Oh, AJ says he's going to do it.
Yeah, he says he's showing up. That's good. Well, I got, what a moment of the year. Just hanging out with the kids, you know. It's always good.
Yeah, that's awesome. But you do that all the time, too. I mean, something that you don't always do.
I got my purple belt this year.
Yeah, that is pretty fantastic, yeah.
That was cool.
I mean, if you could, with AJ, though, I mean, that's going to be fantastic, you know, because he's a brown, right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, well, that's it. He should have a lot of tricks up his sleeve to show me, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to rolling around with AJ on Monday and suplexing him. You know, giving him a big bear hug and a suplex and a drop kick, maybe, you know. Give him the Rainmaker. How about it? All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Thursday, we can't wait to hear about all this mayhem that's happening on Monday. You got to tell us all the results on Thursday.
No show Thursday.
Oh, there's no show on Thursday?
No, bitch.
Okay.
No show Thursday. We're taking another week off. We'll be back on the 9th for Ringside Report MMA. You and I will be back Friday night, 10 p.m., while SmackDown is on.
Take that, UFC fans. More wrestling. More wrestling.
Yeah, the MMA coverage will resume on January 9th. Freddie and AJ still taking a couple weeks off of vacation. And then UFC action comes back January 11th. So we'll be back when the UFC comes back. Just a couple weeks off for the Christmas holiday, you know? Happy Hanukkah, everybody. Happy New Year. And we will see you again Friday night here on the Ringside Report Network.
Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word.
You know the drill. Hit that subscribe button. Flip those notification switches.
We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at ringsidereport.net. Hope to see you again next time, and have a